Good morning everyone. So this morning we're going to be working upon developing our bone density and muscle mass. And for that we're going to be using some light weights. All I'm using are a couple of tins of soup actually. And you can of course use heavier weights than that if you wish. But I would suggest if you're new to using weights that you stick to something quite light at least to start with. So we're going to come to our mats, placing the feet underneath the hips, relaxing the shoulders, drawing in the chin slightly and drawing it back, and just feeling that the joints, the major joints of the body, are stacked one above the other. So if I stand sideways on, maybe if you imagine that you're standing next to a plumb line, and imagine that the joints are stacked one above the other, so you've got the ankle, the knee, hip, shoulder, and then finally the ears. I know the ears aren't a joint. That's a good alignment for the body. And allowing the breath to come to a steady, even rhythm. Breathing through the nose. And if you like, you can engage the Ujjayi breath by slightly closing the vocal cords or the glottis and becoming aware of the movement of the breath at the throat. So now we're going to shift our weight over onto one leg. We'll start by taking the weight over onto the left leg and then placing the right foot somewhere against the left leg. So it can either be against the shin or it can be higher up against the thigh. Try not to place it against the knee. Or if your balance is really not so good this morning, you can keep the big toe on the floor and just balance the heel above the ankle. And then bringing the hands together at the chest. Oops. And on an inhale, we're going to take the arms out to the sides. And exhale, bringing the arms back to where they were. So we're moving in time with your breath, trying to allow the movement to follow the breath rather than the other way around. And you move in time with your breath rather than with mine. And we'll just do one more. And if the weights start to feel a little bit too much for you, you can do this without any weights at all, or maybe just use a half tin or something a bit lighter. And we'll make this the last one, placing the arms back down by your sides, releasing the leg, coming back to that balanced position. And then taking the weight over onto the right leg this time. Same thing, so bringing the left foot to wherever you choose. I'm going to keep my big toe on the floor because it's difficult to balance and talk. And then when you're ready to inhale, taking the arms out wide. And exhale, bringing them back together again. And when you're in this tree pose, try not to slump into the side that's supporting you. Try to lift up out of that hip joint. Keeping the rest of the body in line. The chin down, drawn back slightly. The gaze a little bit down from straight ahead. Trying to keep the gaze steady and fairly soft. And we'll just do one more. And when you've completed, coming back to standing on both feet, if you like, you can place the hands aside for one moment. Have a little shake out of the body. You don't want to be building up any tension. And then coming back, holding your weights again. Coming back to this nice, well-aligned position, standing next to your imaginary plumb line. And then once again, we're going to shift the balance onto the left leg. Coming back to tree pose once again, you might try a different position of the foot this time. And this time we're going to take the right arm up by the ear, stretching up towards the ceiling. And then on the exhale, bend the elbow and drop the weight behind the head. Not moving the head forward, keeping it where it is. Inhale, stretch up. And exhale. Bending that elbow with control. And we'll just do two more. Again, remembering to lift up out of that left hip. Last one. And bringing that hand down. Placing the right foot upon the mat. And shifting the weight of the body over onto the right leg. Choosing your position and stretching up with the left arm, and we'll do 4 repetitions. Exhale, bending the elbow. As you inhale, stretch up towards the ceiling, keeping that gaze steady, about 20 degrees below the horizon. Looking steadily forward. A steady but soft gaze. And we'll do 2 more. If you feel a bit wobbly, that's fine. That's all your muscles are working to keep your balance. Last one. And releasing the leg, releasing the arms down by your sides. And just take a second just to notice the effects on the body, on the breath. And now we're going to come to Warrior One. So we're going to step forward with the left leg, step back with the right leg. Have the right foot pointing out about 45 degrees, whatever makes you feel stable, comfortable. And we're going to start by inhaling, bending the front knee and bringing the arms up by the ears. There's a light little back bend here. And exhale, coming down. And repeating, inhale, bending the front knee. If you find a little pinching in the lower back, you can just lean forward slightly. That usually helps. If your neck is healthy, you can look up towards the ceiling as well as you come into the position. Little back bend here. And we'll just do one more on this side. So if you're practicing this by yourself at home, you can of course do more repetitions. Taking your time, plenty of time. And when you've completed, turning the feet to the other side. Letting the breath settle. And then when you're ready to, taking an inhale, taking the arms up, bending the front knee. Just notice this side might feel a bit different. Might feel a little bit less stable maybe. If that's the case, then maybe you could do more on this side than on the other. And that will help to bring you back to balance. Coordinating with your breath. Nice, smooth, even breath. And a nice, smooth, even movement. And this one's the last one. When you've completed, turning the feet forward to face the long end of your mat. So the feet are a little bit wide. Keep them here and turn the left foot out to 90 degrees and just angle the right foot in so that it's maybe 45 degrees pointing inwards, something like that. And so we're going to inhale, bend the left knee so it comes above the ankle, taking the arms up to shoulder height. Exhale, leaning over to the left. You can just bring that left forearm to rest lightly against the thigh, and the right arm comes all the way over to the left by the right ear. And inhale, come back to center. You can look out over the left hand and drop the arms down by your side so you're back to where you started. Inhale, bending the knee, keeping the arms up. Exhale, over to the left. Bringing that right hand all the way over to the left so you can feel a long stretch down that right side of the body. Inhaling to center, looking over the left arm, and exhale back to the starting point. So we'll do 2 more like this. Keep going with your breath. If these weights are starting to get a little bit too much, you can do the same thing without a weight, or see if you can find something a little bit lighter. And we're coming up to the last one. If you like, you can stay in this position for a couple of breaths, just enjoying that lovely stretch all the way from the right hand down to the right foot. And inhale back to center, looking out to the left and bringing the arms down. So now turning the feet in the other direction. When you're ready, inhaling, bending the knee, raising the arms, and exhale over to the right. See how that feels. Inhale back to center, looking over the right hand, and exhale and lower. So keeping going. Seeing if you can slow down your breath and thus slowing the movement as well. Sometimes it can feel as if you're moving through treacle. Being aware of each muscle that you're engaging to allow the movement. And at the same time, usually some muscles relax. Being aware of the movement in the joints. How smooth does that feel? And coming up to the last one now. And of course, as you practice these movements, you can start to use slightly heavier weights in a very gradual kind of way. We'll come into that position one more time because I forgot to stay there for a few breaths. So we'll stay here, pressing back into that back heel, stretching over to the right, feeling the ribs separate and open. And then when you're ready, inhale, come back to center. And then returning to your start position. So turning the feet forward and stepping them together so that they're underneath your hips once more. Coming back to the imaginary plumb line. Feeling the joints of the body stacked one above the other. Noticing the breath. So we're going to do a squat now, so not everybody can do a squat. So if you can't comfortably do a squat, just come down a short distance. Or sometimes it helps if you change your foot position, maybe turning the feet out a little. Or sometimes also placing something underneath your heels, sometimes that can help as well. So if you get your feet into appropriate position, on the inhale, we're going to take the arms above the head. And then as you exhale, bend the knees, bring the arms down, try and keep the spine as long and tall as you can, coming down as far as you're able. As you inhale, the arms move up first, and then you can start pressing down into the feet, engaging the muscles in the thighs to bring you back up. And then exhale, lower the arms down. So we're going to repeat this another 3 times. And you can experiment with the way you bring your arms above the head. You can bring them forwards or you can bring them by the sides. Maybe do it alternately. And then exhale, start by bending at the knees and the hips, keeping the chin well tucked in, coming down as far as you're able to. Little pause here. Inhale, start to come back up, feeling that effort in the thigh muscle. And exhale, just allow the arms just to float down by your sides. Inhale, arms above the head. And exhaling, coming down. You might just be coming down this far, and that's absolutely fine. And coming back up again. And releasing the arms down by your sides. So we've just got one more to do. Inhaling, I'll bring my arms up by the front this time, just to vary it. And exhale, coming down into your squat. And we'll just stay here for a couple of breaths. And then as you start your next inhalation, start by moving the arms up. Engage the legs. One smooth movement. And exhale, bringing the arms down. And observe the body, observe the breath. And we're going to come down to the floor, lying on our back with the knees bent. So we're ready for bridge pose. And we're still going to use our weights. So the knees are bent, the feet are on the floor, fairly close to the buttocks, about hip width apart. And just shuffle the shoulders down away from your ears. Just check that the shoulder blades are flat against the floor. The back of the neck feels long. And we're going to place if they don't roll off, that is, the weights just on your pelvis. You can maybe keep hold of them with the fingertips to make sure they stay there. And then on an inhalation, we're going to come up into bridge, raising the hips as you inhale, pressing lightly into the floor with the feet. And exhale, come down. And repeating that, inhaling, coming up, lifting your hips, feeling the spine peeling away from the floor, one vertebra at a time. And exhaling, same thing, coming down, lowering the spine vertebra by vertebra until you're on the floor. Wait for the inhale to start. Start the movement. Smooth and controlled. With a smooth and easy breath. And if you find that your breath starts to become agitated, then just take a resting breath. Allow it to calm down before continuing. And if you like, when you come up this next time, we'll stay in the position. And if you'd like to add a variation, we'll lift one leg. We'll lift the left leg, straightening the leg up towards the ceiling, and just stay here and breathe. So you need to press down into the other foot. And exhale, bring that leg down, bending the knee, bringing it back to where it was. And shift legs. Coming over to the right leg. Inhale and straighten that leg. Keep lifting the hips. Check whether the breath is still smooth. Bending the knee, bringing that leg down. Lowering the hips, and then you can place your weights to one side. You're finished with them now. So drawing the knees towards the chest and just placing your hands on top of the kneecaps. As you inhale, allow the arms to straighten as the knees move away from the chest. As you exhale, using your abdominal muscles to draw the knees towards the chest, squeezing the air out of the body. You might feel the lower spine against the floor, and just moving easily between those two positions. It's quite a subtle asana. It's called Apan Asana, this one. It works on the part of the body called the Apana region and lower abdomen. And it also gives the lumbar spine a nice massage. So just do two more. moving slowly and smoothly with an effortless breath. No hurry. And then placing the feet back on the ground, hip width apart. And if you'd like to, you can take the arms out to shoulder level. And on an exhale, both the knees are going to tip towards the floor to one side, and you can turn the head in the opposite direction. So we have a nice gentle twist. Inhale to centre. And exhaling, moving to the other side. And just moving easily from side to side, following your breath. Still using the Ujjayi breath, just feeling that little bit of movement of air past the throat as you breathe in and you breathe out. It's a soft Ujjayi. Only you should be able to hear it. And coming back to centre. And then from here you can either stretch the legs out and relax in Shavasana, or you can finish the practice here, rolling over onto one side and coming up to sitting. So I hope you find that practice useful. It's very good for all of us to be able to develop our muscle strength and also our bone density as we get older. Thank you.